This video is sponsored by Elgato. If you're a sports fan and have been around for the last few years, you may have come across a few videos like this. These are the Savannah Bananas, a baseball team based in Savannah, Georgia that aims to make baseball more flashy and fun. Think of it as the #1 Street Ball or the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. Is that what we're going with? I mean, I guess. Now, they've amassed a super large following due to their viral dances, trick plays, and highlights. And when they go on their stadium and arena tour, they sell out tickets super fast. You can't even buy tickets. You have to join a wait list like it's a Taylor Swift concert. Like it's a big concert, yeah. It's a phenomenon that even though so many people are aware of them, I don't think that we fully grasp this situation. The Bananas have tackled one of the largest obstacles that usually hinder new leagues from catching on, new sports from catching on, and staying in business and staying relevant. I want to try to understand what it is that they're doing beyond just the social media. And I'm not waiting God knows how long for a lottery list to get a ticket, because if there is one thing about me, I hate waiting in line. In person, digital line, I don't care. I do not like waiting in line. But luckily, there is a third option. The Bananas stream their games live on their YouTube channel for free. Knowing that, I thought that this was the perfect opportunity to judge the Savannah Bananas as a TV/broadcast product. It's one thing being at the game, but watching it is another thing entirely. With the Savannah Bananas being on ESPN2 in the summer of 2025, I think that this is the perfect time to do a little bit of review and a commentary on the overall broadcast. If you're new here, welcome in, and if you know me, welcome back. A couple of announcements. I am back consistently streaming on Twitch. So if you want to be a part of these regular live streams, we play old games, we play new games, we do a lot of fun stuff. Feel free to follow me there. I appreciate you guys so much. All right, back to the rest of the video. I went to school for broadcast journalism, so the home experience of sports is something that I deeply care about. I think that whether you're at the stadium or whether you're at your couch, I think that the experience, while it may differ, should also be a complete one, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pick a random game, sit back, relax, and go through it with y'all. I just want to say that this is my opinion, and I don't want my opinion to influence whether you should have interest in this league or sport or not. I know that there are many different people out there with many different tastes. I want to stress that. There's going to be some of this stuff on this video that is not for me, and I get that. If there's something I like, I'll let you know. If there's something I don't like, I will also let you know. I'm also going to be learning about Banana Ball on the fly, as I've only seen the TikToks. I really don't know the special rules or whatnot. I wanted to also judge the broadcast on approachability to the new viewer as well. Do they explain the rules? Do they explain the lore? That stuff matters, especially for a new league. For starters, I just want to say that the fact that these broadcast archives are available in the first place is a very good stepping stone. A lot of sports leagues don't like putting whole games on YouTube or making them easily accessible. And the fact that I can just go back and take a game from this archive and use it in the video means a lot. So the broadcast starts welcoming us to Banana Ball and gives a very good intro as to what we're about to be seeing.
Welcome to Banana Ball. For the next 2 hours, you are going to be entertained like never before. I'm talking a whole lot of singing, a whole lot of dancing, hijinks, and stuff you have never seen before on a live broadcast.
And it begins as a normal baseball broadcast, informing us about the two teams, the history between them, and they give us a good story about a person named Robert Anthony Cruz, who goes by Rack. So if I say Rack later on in this video, this is who I'm talking about. Cruz signed with the Nationals some years ago, and now he's playing Banana Ball back at Nationals Park. Another interesting wrinkle about this broadcast is that Rack will be mic'd up throughout the entire broadcast. So they're going to check in on him here and there and whatnot. Now we get starting lineups and we get introduced to the players and they get to do their fun little thing, and we don't really get to see starting lineups in TV broadcasts anymore. It feels like we have to beg some of the leagues to show us stuff. Like, for example, when the NBA Finals were on with the Thunder and the Pacers, we basically had to tweet out and be like, hey, can we see the starting lineups, please? That's one of the coolest things about the NBA Finals. Can we stop skipping that? And then they finally relented. In the starting lineups, there's a player that's called an extra hitter, and it confused me a little bit as a new watcher because they already have a designated hitter. So I'm immediately wondering if that will be explained. I don't think that this gets explained in the broadcast. Now, I'm not going to really dock them points for this because extra hitter is self-explanatory. I am very curious as to why there's a designated hitter and an extra hitter, but maybe that's a question for another time. I don't know. We come back from commercial to both teams doing the can-can, and we get the opposing team's lineup, the Firefighters. We then get the Bananas defensive lineup, and they have a trick play counter across the graphic, and I can't wait to see what this means for the game. I don't know if it actually applies to the score, or if it's just something that they count as a league-leading stat or whatnot. We see the starting pitcher, and their graphic has something called MPI and B4S. MPI stands for minutes per inning, and B4S equals ball for sprint, which I will explain later down the line what that is. I just figured out while making this video and editing it that the extra hitter is also the starting pitcher. A big theme of Banana Ball that I noticed right away and that the broadcast really does a good job of explaining is that time is of the essence.
About that time, when I count to 3, I need you all to yell out at the top of your lungs, start the clock. 1, 2, 3.
Now, going throughout the entire game broadcast, they have a 2-hour countdown timer. So you either play all 9 innings or you play until that timer goes down to 0, which I think is a really interesting wrinkle because one of the biggest things about baseball, one of the biggest complaints about baseball before they added the pitch clock and all of that stuff is that baseball games take too long. I personally disagree. If I go to a baseball game and I have a couple of beers and want to watch the Mets, I want to be there for as long as the game takes. Let me chill. Let me chill in the outfield stands and bask in the sun while I hear the organist play some bangers with a couple of blue moons or something. I don't know, but I just my stance is always, if I went to a baseball game, I'm going fully out of my way to spend as much time at the ballpark as possible, but I totally understand why people think that the games took too long, and I get it. I'm just a person. And we immediately take it to the player that introed the broadcast for a mic'd up segment. Now, miking up players during games is normal now. Major League Baseball does it all the time. What's cool about this one is that when he makes a fly ball backflip catch with no hesitation,
I've ever had in my entire life. Rack flip! And now we get to this rack flip on the broadcast.
What? That's pretty cool. The thing about this for the Savannah Bananas is that all of these guys are super talented. All of these guys are super talented, and you're going to see the amount of hats that they have to juggle. And during this broadcast, you really get to see how busy and hectic their job is. Not only are they playing some style of baseball, they also have to make it entertaining. They have to learn choreography and be always full of energy and whatnot. So yeah, mad props to them this entire time. So next up, the Bananas do a fun little dance routine that leads to a hit, and that's when I noticed that the scoreboard has a place for runs and points, and I don't think that I don't really remember if that was explained or not, but I do remember watching the game wondering what that is because the trick plays do not count as points. So what does? But I really don't have the time to think about this because the pace of the game is really fast, even going from batter to batter. Every Savannah Bananas at bat feels like a speed run, which I don't dislike. I didn't dislike it because it's different from regular baseball, right? There's no mound visits, there's no, and they still have room to do all the tricks and the shenanigans and the fun stuff, but they do an efficient job of entertainment. We had another behind the back play at first, and that ends the inning, so I'm still not sure if the trick plays are for fun or count for something at this point. The interview idea is fun. I do think it's difficult to conduct just because the pace of play is going so fast, but I'll keep an eye on that throughout the broadcast. We then have 2 trick plays by the Firefighters, and then the third batter fouls out, but Banana Ball has a rule that if a foul ball is caught cleanly by a fan, then it's an out.
And they put away the 7-year Banana. Clean snag behind the plate. A foul out to a fan. ends a very impressive inning.
Now, I originally thought that this rule was only for the Bananas' benefit, but no, the Bananas can be affected by this rule as well. Honestly, I was under the impression that the Savannah Bananas were more like the Harlem Globetrotters, a team that never loses, and the other teams that play feel like placeholders in the game. But no, the play-by-play call is doing a great job of showing enthusiasm for both teams. I think it can be easy to fall into the trap that since the YouTube channel is called the Savannah Bananas, that it's only about the Savannah Bananas, but it's not. And that's good to see, actually. I want to see a competitive baseball game versus just like, oh, I wonder who's gonna win, right? After the top of the second inning, the firefighters have something called a fire alarm, where they predict an outcome to happen, and if they do, we at home have to go crazy.
Here's what we think. Already saw South Trimble make a couple trick plays. We think he's gonna make a ball disappear tonight, and South, I think it could do it. Oh my gosh, it's South!
So the outcome is that South Trimble has to make a ball disappear. He's the guy in the magician hat playing right field. And I'm glad that they put him in this spot to show us exactly who it is, because as a new viewer, I'm getting so many names thrown at me currently. I had no idea who that was, so thank you for the visual cue. I do want to praise the individuality of the Savannah Bananas right here. Every player looks different. They have their own special accessory about them. So watching at home on the broadcast, if they're talking about someone, I can just be like, oh, this guy has his sleeves rolled up. This guy has a cowboy hat on. I'm not having trouble distinguishing the two. Oh, hey, this guy's on stilts. We'll get to that later, actually. The player interview is continuing as they're interviewing Rack while he's hitting, which is pretty cool. I've always wondered what a batter is thinking while they're hitting.
Good cut.
You know, I was swinging for it. I'll say
That's a big hack right there.
Yeah.
Rack draws a walk and immediately starts sprinting, and that's because B4S is a ball 4 sprint, and you can advance as many bases as possible until all 8 players touch the ball. And I didn't get to see it this time around in the TV broadcast because, again, it was happening so fast. So what happens is when a ball 4 happens, the batter starts to sprint. At the same time, all the players in the field are throwing the ball around, and it's hard to kind of decipher what's going on. I wish that the broadcast, when multiple things were happening at once, would use more of a split screen aspect, because it's kind of hard to follow. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I do want to say that when 2 things are happening, I do want to see both things at the same time. So the capacity for that to happen is doable. I just wish that it happened more. And maybe I'm out of my depth because I'm not a director of this kind of thing, and I know that directing live TV in a live sports game that moves that quickly has a lot of moving parts. So I'm out here understanding truly that this is not an easy thing to do. In the last out of the inning, a fly ball goes to South Trimble and he catches it. And I didn't know whether to go crazy or not, because I didn't know if that counted as making a ball disappear. So I just sat there being like, should I go crazy at the crib right now? But they didn't say anything, so I guess I won't. We then have a dance break, which is unique because Rack was mic'd up and was talking about remembering his choreography while being on second base in the previous inning.
Right now, I'm rehearsing choreography in my head because I may or may not have a dance with Maceo right here in the center.
Pretty awesome take about it, not gonna lie. It's cool when the players talk about how it is being a Savannah Banana ball member. That's one of my favorite aspects of the video and watching this, not gonna lie. And the play-by-play and color commentators have been really good at talking to Rack about his teammates, bringing up little fun facts and nuggets of information. So it feels like even though I'm not seeing everything that's happening on the field at one time, I am still learning about the Savannah Banana Ball universe. Also, each pitcher has their own unique strikeout dance, which I figured you guys would have picked up on that already, but I put it in my notes just in case. By the way, we're 3 innings in and no one has scored, and frankly, there has been so much going on here that I did not notice. When I was originally, I was in the 4th inning being like, oh, nobody's even scored yet. So I will give them props about the fact that they're still making an effort to keep us entertained, even though if you look at the scoreboard, someone will be like, nothing's happening. In the bottom of the 3rd inning, the firefighters try a special pitch and the shortstop goes for a ball.
And it looks like we're going to have some acrobatics, some trickery. What's happening here? A flip for Lacey, the shortstop, a crow hop, fastball down and away.
And that's when I started to realize that for every clip of stuff that we see of banana ball highlights, you have those moments where it just doesn't work out, just like in regular sports. Also, the coolest part of the game so far has been the home plate umpire, because the broadcast isn't pointing out what he's doing. So it's one of those things that we at home just get to look out for. And I found that to be a really fun dynamic of being like, okay, we're watching baseball. What's the ump up to? Oh, okay, gotcha. We're also getting a lot of fan catch outs today. It feels like everyone in the stadium is always ready to catch one, which keeps people engaged at the park. And the broadcast makes a note of the fact where it's like, hey, this many fan catch outs don't happen often. And me at home, I'm also wondering if every ball will be caught, if that makes sense. Like the foul ball goes into the outfield. No, foul balls don't go in the outfield. If a foul ball goes out of play, I'm wondering, is that the end of the at-bat? It could be. It doesn't matter what the count is. I will say that watching at home, I don't think that every trick play has the same degree of wow factor. And I'm not saying that they're easy to do. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that watching on TV, some look cooler than others. For example, Jackson Olsen made an amazing barehanded catch in the 4th inning. And I was like sitting here like, oh, that's like super impressive. And I'll say this sometimes, that at the crib, the instant replay is really, really helpful, because there are some times where a banana will do a trick play and it'll happen so fast that you're not really registering what they're doing. So for example, if a ball is hit to the shortstop and then they just do a quick little between the legs and throw it, it happens so fast. There's one play that happens in this game where 2 trick plays happen at the same time. There's like a trick infielder move, and then the first baseman also does a trick catch. And it took the replay and the broadcaster to explain what it was, because I was just like trying to look out for stuff all the time. A run is scored and the firefighters do a coordinated dance similar to when an NFL defense has a takeaway. Later on, one of the firefighters gets hit by a pitch and then gets dragged out by his firefighter squadron. I gotta say, I like this firefighter team. They are leaned into the theme. I like it. I like it. They're good. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning, and it's just hitting me that the pitch speed is nowhere to be found. There also isn't a strike zone box. I care way more about the pitch speed than the strike zone box, but yeah, I'm just noticing that. And again, this is baseball for fun, but I do appreciate going to Major League Baseball, minor league baseball, any level of baseball that has a radar gun and being like, I wonder how fast that pitch was. Ooh, you know? It's just like a habit that I have. Anyway, no time for that now. The banana subbed in a pinch runner that has a motorcycle helmet on. So I think that he's quick. And he scores, which denies the firefighters a point. So I think that I'm guessing that a point goes to whichever team wins the inning. A point goes to whichever team wins the inning, and I'm glad that I know that now. I wish that was explained earlier as a new audience member. And if I zoned out, but yeah. Oh, so the Bananas scored 2 in the bottom of the 4th inning, and the inning immediately ends. So you can have a walk-off double in the 4th inning. Like, as soon as you score, you win the inning as the home team. I don't know how I feel about that. And again, I know that they've probably experimented and timed with this, so I understand that they probably want to keep the game quick. I just don't know if I agree. And I don't have to agree. It's not about me. At the end of the 4th inning, we have a suitcase race, and we're back to baseball. The umpire decides to clean the plate, and I'm really noticing how much dancing there is. Like, it's a lot of dancing, which I get. There isn't much else that you can add that doesn't get in the way of the overall flow of the game. But yeah, there's a lot. I have to keep reminding myself internally that this is a family-friendly event, because I can't be watching this and like seeing something as a critique and then being like, nah, bro, I'm a 29-year-old grown man. All right, let me relax. I have a sense of whimsy. I go to the Ren Fair all the time. So I understand this. 1 hour in, we get to see a person named Stilts pitch, which I don't understand how this man doesn't fall down. I don't understand how this man falls down. They have a nice little interview as to his like journey and what banana ball means to him, which is nice and endearing. For the firefighters, a guy named Liam Spence gets a specialty walk up to the plate at the same time. A lot is happening here. So still so while Stilt is walking out and warming up, Spence is doing his specialty walk up, and it like happens like fast. And I wish there was a double screen again, because I was sitting there trying to register. I'm like, dude, okay, that guy's on stilts. Holy cow. And this guy's just running through sprinklers on the field, and I'm just like sitting there being like, I just want to say that Stilts threw only 2 pitches that inning, and that's the most impressive stuff I've seen this entire game. That is the most impressive, because he's pitching on stilts and hitting the strike zone. He threw 2 strikes on stilts. Watching in the 5th inning, I then see this turn of events.
Everywhere he's been. Backflip, Javon Ray, back to the rubber, and the ball to the backstop.
I'm assuming that it has worked before, but I was not expecting this. They also mentioned briefly during the broadcast booth that both teams are currently tied in trick plays.
And it's a trick play that draws the Bananas even tonight with the Firefighters, both teams 6 apiece.
So once again, I am asking, do they matter or not? Is it like the Mario Party star, where the person that has the most coins also gets an extra star at the end of the match? In the 6th inning, Dalton Cornett hits a home run, and I was not disappointed by the home run celebration.
Home runs for this squad, a huge addition after he was a monster with the Party Animals from 2022 to 2024.
Let's get it on down to Zach Staten to chat with DC3.
He gets an immediate interview right after he hits it, which is pretty daring and interesting. The question and answer wasn't anything groundbreaking, but that's a pretty good idea. I would not be surprised if a certain league took that idea. We then have a WWE entrance from the new pitcher Matt Wolf, who hasn't allowed a home run in his career. He tries a trick pitch, and it does not land. He tries another, and it also does not land. So I think I've seen like 4 trick pitches right now, and none of them have been close. So I was just sitting here at the crib being a new watcher and being like, okay. He eventually lands a trick pitch, but not before walking 2 batters. And when you walk a batter, he can take as many bases as he wants, right? Then in a moment of cool, the Savannah Bananas bring out Wilson Ramos, a former Nationals player, to have an at-bat. He grounds out, but it was really awesome to see how Nationals fans reacted to him. And doing extra research after the script, it's cool that wherever the Savannah Bananas go, they have a special guest, they have some cameos. I think that that's a really great idea. That's one of their best ideas. We are then treated to a montage of the smoothest plays of the game, and I wish that they did this every 3 innings. And it's only because there are a lot of trick plays that happened in this game, and I do want to remember some of the cool stuff that happened while I was watching. It feels like a lot happens during these broadcasts that I do want to be reminded of it personally. After the top of the 8th, the Bananas do a tradition called Yellow on the broadcast. Now, the broadcast sound had it muted for some reason. I don't know what was up with that. Oh, maybe they didn't want it demonetized. Maybe they just muted it because they didn't want it. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to put words in their mouth. And now, after that, we have Rack interviewing his teammates while they play baseball. And when I tell you that baseball players are some of the most unintentionally funny athletes of all time, in my opinion.
What's a slept-on road clubhouse that we've had in one of these big league parks?
Where were we? 3 weeks ago, where
they had the massage chair?
Yes.
Royals. Okay, Kansas. Yeah.
They got to hang out while the announcers took a little break, and I wish that this happened much earlier in the broadcast. I found myself more connected to the team this way and more connected to the concept of banana ball this way. I still think that play-by-play and color commentary is necessary, but I think that I needed more of that throughout the game, because that would have been the best way to learn everything I need to know about the players. When you start banana ball as a new audience member and new watcher, you're thrown into a new set of rules, a new set of players, a new set of teams, and a lot of lore. And I want there to be more of a focus on the lore for newer audience members, personally, because I know this was on ESPN2. This was on ESPN2, so I know that this was probably in a lot of sports restaurants and sports areas, and I would want to imagine that if it is on TV, that someone could potentially become a new fan by learning more about the overall lore of the Bananas during the game. That's just me personally. The final inning starts with some new rules as well. The firefighters do what is also called a golden batter, where they replace a batter with their best batter who is already in the lineup. Fun idea. I don't hate that. He ends up walking, and in a crucial at bat, a fan catches a foul ball to put it to 2 outs in the 9th inning.
Maxwell. And a catch by the fans. Are you kidding me?
Because I was sitting there and the game was close, and this guy hits a foul ball, and I'm like, okay, foul ball. Oh, he's out. There's one more out left. And that was where I was like, okay, I like this rule a lot. That's one of my favorite rules of Banana Ball, easily. Also, the final out is a weird turn of events, and
He's out! Disastrous base running by the firefighters!
This is a hectic baseball play in general, but the tag isn't shown on the broadcast. The final out isn't shown on the broadcast until the instant replay. So I wish that there was a little bit of faster camera work here. It's a nitpick. I mean, most of the broadcast, they did an excellent job. I just think that when there is a lot of like bang bang plays or whatnot, I wish that the camera work was a little bit cleaner and smoother. So final thoughts, I do think that Banana Ball can be a viable TV broadcast, right? I do wish that we had more multicam shots, because I know that there is a lot happening all the time. And I don't need to see everything when I'm at home. I don't need to see like everybody doing their different dance and interacting with the fans or whatnot, because at the same time, that would be impossible for any broadcast, right? If I was watching the NBA and I was only being shown half the court and I was like, I wonder what's going on. I wonder what's going on in section 104. You know, I sound unreasonable as well. But I do think that in the Banana Ball space, there are a lot of times where multiple things are happening at the same time, and they're both important, right? So for the ball four sprint, when the batter runs, I think I need instant double cam for ready, like instant double cam being like the batter running and then the defenders throwing the ball around trying to keep up with them. I think I need that like instantly. But that's all. I had a great time, and if I ever find myself at a game, maybe I'll document that as well. But that, who knows how long that will take, bro. I'm gonna be so for real, because I saw that lottery list and was like, there's no way. If you've ever thought about dipping into the realm of content creation or streaming, Elgato is your one-stop shop for all of your equipment needs. Right here is a representation of my current setup. As you can see, they have cameras, lighting, green screens, capture cards for gameplay, and stream decks to help you streamline your productivity levels. My newest favorite gadget from them is the Elgato Prompter, which helps me read through scripts when I write out my videos and saves both me and my editor so much hassle. Elgato products are simple to set up and have a seamless fit between the products. I've been using Elgato for over 6 years, and it's been awesome to see them still striving to improve and evolve the equipment year after year after year. If you're interested in Elgato products, please click the link in the description below for a discount. Thanks again to Elgato for sponsoring this video, and thanks to you guys for checking out the sponsors. It helps me out both short term and long term. Anyway, thank you guys for watching the end of the video. Feel free to give this a like, feel free to give this a comment, feel free to subscribe. Also, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys. And if you have any other video ideas you want me to do, feel free to let me know. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.